my name is Jenna and today I'm doing my January wrap-up and my February TBR. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of books in my January wrap-up simply because I worked almost every single day in January, which kind of sucked, really. You know, I didn't really get a lot of a chance to do anything. I basically didn't really have a summer because I spent the entire time working, but it's okay because that part of my life is over now. January is done with and now I finally have a chance to read a bit more right before uni goes back. So that's the plan for February. So I managed to read 2 books in January plus 1 critique book, which I obviously cannot talk about. And I also started a 4th book, which I will be finishing very, very soon, hopefully, if I get around to it. I don't know why I haven't finished it yet. Like, I definitely could have finished it in January, I just didn't. So my very first read of 2017 was the first book in the Zarkora series. This one's called The Firelit Tragedy by N.A. Lockel. I read this one for the summer biannual bibliothon? No, the winter biannual bibliothon of 2017. I ended up giving this book a 3 out of 5 stars. I did enjoy it, but I also had some massive problems with it. I did a full spoiler-free book review of this one, which I will leave linked in the description box below if you want to hear more of my full thoughts on it. Then the second book that I read in January was Illuminated by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. I ended up giving this one a 5 out of 5 stars because it was incredible. Like, I loved it absolutely so much. It was a really great book as well because I was able to sort of put it down because I started it before I started the bibliothon and then I had to sort of put it down so I could read bibliothon books. And when I picked it back up, I knew exactly what was going on, and because it is such a long book, I'm really glad that I actually did take a break. But when it got to like maybe the last little bit of it, I just had to read the entire way through. I think I read it in like under 2 hours because I just needed to know what would happen, and it was so good and I really enjoyed it. It's such a unique story, the way that it's got its, you know, it's not just text, it's all the IMs and the stuff like that. So I really enjoyed this one. I'm going to be doing a full book review of this one as well, so stay tuned on my channel. That one will be coming very soon. And then, like I said, I read a 3rd book, but that one is a critique book, so I'm not able to talk about it. And I also can't like put it on my Goodreads challenge. So according to Goodreads, I've only read 2 books so far this year, and so I'm behind on my challenge, but I'm not because I've read that extra book, but I can't talk about it, so that sucks. So now I want to get into my February TBR. I have 4 books on this TBR because I do like having TBR books because they definitely sort of help me be like, okay, I want to read these books this month, but at the same time, sometimes I'm just like, I want to read this book out of the blue, and so I'll pick it up. So my TBRs this year, I think, are going to be a little bit different. They're mostly probably going to be full of uni books. I'm not going to lie to you because I'm doing English at university again, so I'm going to have to read those books. But also it'll be like new releases that I really want to read that month. And then also I have like a gajillion series that I've started and haven't finished yet, and so I'm determined this year to finish a bunch of them. One of the books on this TBR is technically finishing a series because it's a duology, so that's exciting. So the first book that I want to read in February is actually the book that I have already started, and it is actually a reread, and that is of Passenger by Alexandra Bracken. So I read this one at the beginning of last year and it was one of my favorite books of the year. I loved it so much. It's about a girl named Etta Spencer, and she finds out that she can time travel basically, and so she goes back in time and meets Nicholas Carter, who is he's just the sweetest guy. I love him so much. And basically the story sort of takes off from there because they have to travel through time to retrieve this item, and it's a lot of fun. So I'm really glad that I'm rereading it though, because while I remember a lot of the things that happened, there's also a lot of things that I didn't remember, so I am really glad that I'm rereading this one. I'm not counting it on my Goodreads challenge or anything just because then it'll take away from last year's challenge, but I do still really enjoy this book and I'm so glad that I'm rereading it. Following on from Passenger, then obviously the next book that I'm planning on reading is Wayfarer by Alexandra Bracken. This is the sequel to Passenger and is also the conclusion, as this is only a duology. It's the first duology I've ever read, so like I'm super excited to see how that plays into, you know, how the story will end. I'm really looking forward to it. Like I said, Passenger was one of my favorite books of 2016, so I'm really hoping that Wayfarer is going to be just as good. The 3rd book I am planning on reading in February is actually the YA Circle Book Club Book of the Month. This is a book club that I have joined finally in Adelaide. It's the first meeting that I'm going to in February, so I really need to get this book read, and that is The One Memory of Flora Banks by Emily Barr. I don't actually think I'm going to really enjoy this book. This book is about a girl called Flora and she has amnesia, so she cannot remember anything, and then one day she kisses a boy and then she can remember that. And so just from that description, I don't think I'm gonna like it, just because I don't know how I feel about this whole kissing a boy and then everything's okay sort of thing. I'm really not one who enjoys sort of messages like that. So I'm still excited to read it. I'm definitely excited to go to the YA Circle meeting and talk about it with everyone, but going into it, I'm a little bit hesitant because I do think that I may have some issues with it. And then the last book that I'm planning on reading in February is a super controversial one, and I hate that it is controversial. I hate what BookTube has become because of this book. This book is one that I was really, really excited for, and I'm still really excited to read it, but now I feel ashamed to want to read it, and I hate that BookTube has done that to me. And of course, you probably can guess what I'm talking about, and that is Carve the Mark by Veronica Roth. I was anticipating this book all the way back from when it got announced, and hearing what everyone is saying about it and knowing that so many people don't want others to support this book, and that just really upsets me. I'm really looking forward to reading it still. I know that it has a lot of problems that people have found and that people have been talking about, so I'm going to go into it a little bit more hesitantly, but I will still be reading this book and I am still looking forward to it. So sue me. I just want to say, like, a disclaimer sort of thing, that my opinions are my opinions, and I understand that there are problems with this book, but that's not going to stop me from reading it and forming my own opinion. So yeah. And there you have it. Those are the 2 books that I read in January and the 4 books that I am planning on reading in February. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comment section below what books you read in January and what books you are planning on reading in February. I would love to know. If you like this video, be sure to give it a huge thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss a thing. Stay random. Bye.